Hey guys, sorry it's been a little while, but I'm doing a quick tutorial video on how I do my makeup. So we're starting with the Revlon Prime Plus. I have really acne prone skin, so this one has really helped keep my skin nice and acne free. I do, as you can see, have some spots there, but also, yeah, so this has probably been one of the best primers I've found so far. It works really well, especially with my eyeshadows and my eyebrow makeup. So, alright, next is the Maybelline Dream BB Cream in medium. It's a sheer medium tint, and then I have my microfiber beauty sponge, which works really well. This one I like mostly because you don't have to wet it before you put the makeup on. And basically what this is doing is just giving me a better foundation for my foundation because I have such crappy skin. But just blending it in all over my face and paying attention to the creases and the spots that are easy to miss. Mainly because I do have a lot of laugh lines, because as you can see I'm very animated with the way I talk and I love to sing and stuff, so I have lots of bumps and creases and places that need a little extra attention, and this one just kind of gets really gets in there and makes sure that everything is nice and smooth and gives me a little bit of color and just a better base for my foundation. Up next is excuse me, my actual foundation, my liquid foundation. It is by Neutrogena, and it is the Neutrogena, whoops, yep, there you go, Skin Clearing Oil-Free Makeup. This one has been probably the best that I've tried out of all the acne makeups. I tried an e.l.f. one and it was just miserable. I didn't like it at all. But this one is in Buff, which is the closest to my skin tone when I am not tanned from the summer. So this is like my winter color, essentially. Same thing with this one. I usually apply 2 layers of foundation. I know that sounds like a lot, but with this makeup specifically, it's a very light makeup, so it's not like super heavy and it doesn't look cakey whenever you put it on. So I usually put 2 layers, make sure obviously to get in all those creases and the bumps and on my eyelids and stuff like that, and it just gives me a really good foundation for the rest of my makeup. But this microfiber sponge, oh my gosh, I got it on Amazon for like $5. I think I got 4 of them for like $5. So I'll have to figure out, I can't remember what the name of it is, but yeah, so I really like it so far. So one of the most important things about applying foundation is not only to find your right shade, which takes some trial and error, but also getting down to your neck, going from your chin to your neck so it blends well and you can't see like a really harsh line underneath your chin. Next up is going to be my concealer. This is probably the only e.l.f. product that I swear by, and it is the 16-hour Camo Concealer. I dropped it. And it is a pretty thick, I've dropped this thing so many times, but it is a pretty thick applicator, which I love because it gives me plenty of product. I only have to dip into it maybe once or twice throughout the entire application, which is great. So basically what I'm doing here is mostly contouring and highlighting the areas that I want to kind of stand out. Using the other side of the sponge, I'm going to try to blend it in as much as possible. And then I use the other side of the sponge that I used for my foundation to kind of make it blend a little bit better so it's not like a harsh white difference. But basically what this stuff does is it not only highlights my face, but it helps bring or helps cover up all of my little imperfections and flaws and things like that. So I really, really like this concealer. It does not blend well, so I do have to like really work it in, which ends up being good because it's just a really good concealer. It does what it's supposed to. I really like it for under my eyes because I have some pretty dark circles under my eyes from allergies and not sleeping well and things like that. So it works really, really well for concealing the dark circles and everything under my eyes and the bags and all that. But, all right, next is the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear talc-free powder. I found this at TJ Maxx and it is incredible. So I use two different types of powders. This powder I use more of like a setting powder for my foundation. But I will also use an actual setting powder once I'm done with my highlighting and contouring and everything. Alright, dance break. But this one has a lot of fallout. So I probably put way too much on my brush before I applied it. So next time I'll go in with a little bit less. But as you can see, it's just starting to smooth my face out. If I would stop moving, oh my god. Yeah, okay, so a lot of fallout from that. The next time I dip in, it won't be nearly as much, but you can see that it's smoothing out my skin. It's kind of blending everything to look a little more natural without caking up. That's one of my favorite things about this powder. So really any mineral powder, like Bare Minerals, or I think Neutrogena has a pretty good powder, loose powder like that. Alright. Next up, I'm going to curl my eyelashes, and I have very straight eyelashes. So I get my hair dryer and blow the hair dryer on the eyelash curler so it'll heat it up, and my eyelashes will actually curl and stay curled. If I don't, typically it takes way longer for me to do it, to actually curl my eyelashes. And when curling your eyelashes, obviously be very careful. I have pinched myself a million times, but I've gotten pretty good over the years that I've been doing makeup. I'll realize that I'm not showing the camera and turn my face here in just a second. There we go. So basically you want to start as close to your lash line as possible without obviously pinching yourself. It looks scary, it's really not that scary. It's pretty easy once you get used to it, but as you can see, I'm holding it horizontally, because if you hold it down, it's not really going to curl well, but if you hold it horizontally, it curls it a little bit better and makes sure that you get all the way down to the lash line. Right, and I'm going to use my Great Lash mascara. This one I don't think is very expensive at all, but I know my mom used to use it when I was younger. I don't know if she does anymore, but I like this as a base foundation, or base mascara. I usually use two different mascaras. This one for the base, and it kind of just gets them up, it gets them separated, and try to get every single lash. And then I'll use a different mascara that's more volumizing to give me the thickness that I'm looking for. I'm wearing a gold sweater, so I'm going to use my Whatever palette from ColourPop and do a little blend and a little blendy blend. Alright, I'm going to use a few different brushes. One I'll probably use a couple different times because I don't have very many. So with this one, it's going to be my base color. So I always choose something that is along the lines of the color that I'm going to be blending out to the side. So I just place it on my lid, just the lid, I don't extend it up too much because there's other colors that I'll be using, and although they will blend well together, I don't want too much of one color and not enough of the other, because then it does start to build up and it looks kind of strange. So blending is very important, very, very important when it comes to eyeshadow, mainly because you don't want a whole lot of one color on one spot and no color on the other. Next up, I'll be using my crease brush, and I'm going to use a color that's just a bit darker than the one that's on my lid. And make sure you get rid of all fallout so it doesn't fall onto your face. And this is a e.l.f. crease brush. And you're going to literally just stick this on the crease of your eyelash or eye and blend. And then lastly, well, not lastly, but next is the dark color, where I'm going to blend from the out, in, It looks a little crazy right now, but it'll all come together, I promise. And I always use a light color that will blend pretty well with the color that's on my lids. And this is gonna go right on my brow bone. This one may have been just a little bit too glittery, but I rolled with it. Inner part of my eyelid, I use this metallic-y red, and it ends up coming out really, really good. Take the color that I initially put on my lid and go underneath my lash line. To use my e.l.f. retractable eyeliner for my waterline on the top of my eye and the bottom. This took me so long to get used to doing because I don't like touching my eyes.
Oh. You editing me out?
Well, no, because I'm doing stuff to my face while you're in here. Oh my god.
Another dog? Demon kitty?
Alright, next up we're going to try these magnetic eyelashes by Ardell. I have really sensitive eyes, so I can't use most lash glues. So I've been trying different magnetic ones that aren't too terribly expensive. This one I got from Walgreens for like 15 bucks. I did not realize that it was a gel instead of a liquid, so I was not super happy about that, but I was willing to try it because I'm kind of willing to try anything at this point. You have to put 2 layers for the lashes to really stick. This is drying, I am going to start on my eyebrows, and what I'm going to do with this here is just kind of brush my eyebrows out to get any kinks out, to give it some kind of shape and definition, and that's really what this liquid is going to do here. And I got this in my Birchbox. I love it, and I will definitely be buying a full-size product of it. So with my eyebrows, because I have been trying to let them grow out and not touching them for the past few years, I basically am just taking the eyeliner and giving them a little bit of shape, the shape that I want them to be. With the right eye first. Nope, left eye. Just kidding. I have fairly large eyes, so most eyelashes, fake eyelashes, are going to be just a bit too short for me. So I kind of have to adjust them a little bit and get them to where I want them to be. Looks good. Definitely can tell that they're fake, but I don't have to wear as much mascara, which definitely helps. And now I'm going to finish up my eyebrows. I use the Benefit Goof Proof brow pencil just to fill them in, really give them a full body look. do my wing on my eyeliner, and I use the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. And alright, this might be a little bit better. Yep, except my hand's covering it. Eyeliner never matches, but I feel it's the same thing as my eyebrows. They're sisters, not twins. Alright, and next I'm going to start contouring. First with a bronzer. That's not my bronzer, and I don't realize that until right now. Nope, not that one. Bronzer, Wet n Wild. I like this stuff. I do need to find a different one because this one's just a little bit too dark, and I also hit pan on it, so it's just crumbling. But I have an angled brush for this, and basically what I'm going to do is, you'll see I will suck in my cheeks and follow that line where my cheeks are, and this makes my face look a little bit skinnier. It gives my face some definition. And same thing with my nose, just on the edges of my nose, along the bridge of my nose, put a little bit of bronzer to make it look a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner, because I do have a fairly large nose. Next up, I'm going to apply my brush, and using the Too Faced Watermelon palette. It has two different colors. One is kind of a bronze highlighter type, and the other is a little bit more pink. It smells amazing. I love this stuff. Found it also at TJ Maxx. Next is a fan brush for my highlighter, and I'll apply the highlighter to my cheekbones, my nose, and my upper lip. Not least, my Kat Von D, which is now KVD Vegan Beauty, Locket Setting Powder in Translucent. And now I'm going to use my Too Faced Do You setting spray, and it smells also like watermelon. Next up is my lipstick. I couldn't decide which color I wanted, and this was probably not the best color because my eyeshadow is not super red, and this is a very dark red that I'm choosing now. But it still came out looking okay. So first things first, I'm going to use a lip liner in a color that's sort of close, but not too terribly off, and just line my lips. When lining your lips, I don't like to overline my lips because it's very obvious when you do. So I just use my natural line and just go along it. Now this formula is really thick. This is the NYX, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the lipstick, but it's a matte lipstick. I like it a lot because it goes on really smooth. That is my first makeup tutorial. Hope you guys liked it. Like, share, subscribe, and comment.